Welcome once again to the NYN Show. This is the show where we invite people into the studio to share their life stories. And the languages we use on the show are to retrieve all English, mainly because I've got Ghanaian background and fortunately or unfortunately, those are the only two languages I know. So we tend to go with the preference of our guests. And today's guest is Nana Akua Kwarteng Ampofo. I realised that in addition to makeup, she does lots of other things, and we invited her to become part of the NYN Show crew, and she accepted it, so we're one big happy family. But I thought that it would be great to invite her to share her story with us, so that as a young person, a makeup artist, also happens to be a PK, a pastor's kid, you know, what the challenges has been and what joy it is to have a daddy who is a pastor. So without wasting too much time, Nana, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I was feeling really good 5 minutes ago, but now I'm feeling a bit nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know, the lights are hot.
Yeah, but you know, she says she's nervous, but she's fantastic because even on set, when I start to feel nervous, she's the one that calms me down, and so no, don't be. But that is great. What made you accept the call though to share your story?
Why not? Why not? If you can share your story and inspire somebody, or somebody can relate to you, to know that they're not alone, that they're not going through something by themselves, empower somebody, then why not?
Thank you. So talk me through your childhood then, Nana. How old are you first of all?
I'm
If you don't mind me
25.
asking.
I'm 25.
Okay.
Just turned 25 in April.
Alright.
Where do I start? From the beginning, I guess. I was born in Ghana.
Yeah.
I came here when I was 4 because Daddy was studying here, continuing his studies to become a pastor. And then we just stayed here ever since. And then we lived in Bracknell for 12, 13 years. Then in 2012 we moved to London. Yeah, I've been here ever since.
I see. So you talked about Daddy and the fact that you were born in Ghana and you came at the age of 4. So in terms of language preference, which one would you like to go for?
I can do both.
Oh, excellent.
Because my parents made sure that when we were home, there was big treat us, and when we went out to school, we spoke English, so I've got a good balance of both languages.
And in Sally, I know that's it. So you said, now, Catherine, we'll see on the if I say, no, you can't find money.
My dad, okay,
so there are 5 of you in the house, 3 men and 2. So it's 3
women
women
and 2 men.
2 men.
Yeah.
I see. Talk me up through your education then. Which school did you go to?
Well, primary school Sandy Lane, secondary school Garfield College, both in Bracknell. Then I went to sixth form in London, Christ the King in Sidcup. And I went to Coventry University. I studied forensic investigations, and then that's been my education so far.
Excellent. You studied forensic investigations.
Yes.
That's big. That's an area that's not very common with within our Ghanaian community or an African community. I guess I can only speak for Ghana. But what made you pick that area to study forensic?
I'm really nosy, and I always want to get to the bottom of things. So forensic investigation, in layman's terms, is crime investigation. So it's not just the going on scene and doing the lab work. It's actually going to interview people that have committed crimes, witnesses, how you put that into the police system, how to find somebody if they're in the police system, the judicial system. There's a lot of things that goes into it, and I was just really, really interested in that kind of thing. So I went to study it.
How did you find the course?
It was very difficult. Of course, at first I thought it was going to be okay because it's first year, right? And what people don't realise about first year is cool. The jump between first year to second year is where a lot of people, fail, and I really failed. But by God's grace, I had a lecturer who was really pushing me, encouraging me, so I was able to move on to my second year. And my second year, I buckled up and did what I had to do. But there's a lot of information because forensic investigation, you have forensic science, which is just strictly labs, so you just do the science side, and then you have everything else which becomes part of the investigation work, which includes everything, including crime, so psychology, criminology, everything. You have to know the law, you have to know blood types. There's just so many different things that goes into the forensic investigation that I didn't realize it was going to be this much information or this broad spectrum of information.
I see. Did any of it scare you though? Blood types, all that?
I'm not squeamish, so I can deal with cuts and bruises and bodies and all that kind of stuff. So,
Did you have to do any practical work?
I did.
Talk us through some of that.
a lot of practical work. This is really funny actually. We had to do like hair and fibre sandwich samples. And obviously black women wear, extensions and wigs and stuff. And one of the pieces of work, we had to pull out a piece of our hair from the root. And obviously I was wearing a wig and I said to my lecturer, if I pluck out this hair from the root, it's going to tell you that I'm Chinese. So maybe you can give me a piece of hair or somebody else can give me a piece of hair. Another lab that we had to do, we actually had to do like a post-mortem practical, where we basically had to carry out part of post-mortem on I would say cadaver, but it's a dead body, basically.
I see.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That reminds me of this joke. Guy did over no say Shushelba, and I am one in Penny to go home, Madam said, so mommy, powers not back October, no, they have a strand of her hair wrap. Until near the call and not say, May magic come out, they be Friday, and don't say, or no, how to be a no, but the Friday door is a horse be like gallop.
That's funny.
That's funny. So the thing you said about that, your kind of, yeah, I know, but yeah, I mean, it's been real, isn't it? But no, that's great. That's an area, because it's not an area I hear people talk about too often, because you hear they're going to nursing, they're going to teaching, they do human resources, they do all kinds of things. So I really admire you for studying that. Now, what I want to talk about is your makeup work, though, because I mean, I didn't know you as a forensic investigator. I knew you, or I know you as a makeup artist. So, how did you make that transition? And I guess at what point did you realize you had that interest?
I've had that interest from a very young age. I feel like a lot of people say that I was fast when it came to makeup and stuff, because my mom was into like hair and makeup, like kind of things. So I'll see her putting her makeup on and be like, I want to do that. And I was really naughty, so whenever my dad would be sleeping, I'll get on with makeup and try and do his makeup when he was sleeping. But I think from about the age of maybe even 10, just getting mommy's lipstick, putting on, getting powder. I didn't know what I was doing at that time. But as I got older and realized, that, I can do my eyebrows like this and it makes me look different. Or I can do this for somebody else and they gain a bit of confidence. It made me really want to get into it, made me really interested. And then of course YouTube came about, and on YouTube you learn everything, how to do everything, how to put your powder on, eyeshadow, everything. And then you just start to practice. Whenever I was bored, I would practice and then...
So Nana, you were telling me about what got you into makeup and the fact that you practiced at home from the age of 10, and your parents at some point saw that you really wanted to do that. So talk me through what happened after that.
I think once they realised that I had a serious interest in it, my dad was still insistent that, I go to school, get my degree. But if I agree with him, because it gives me something to fall back on, should I decide that I don't want to be a makeup artist anymore, I can always go back into my professional field and like work there. But I think with my family, my mom's side particularly, they're very, very creative. My mom's a seamstress, my sister does nails, my brother's a cook, he makes clothes. So all of us are very, very creative. So I think that's where I got it from. So with me, my parents knew that at some point, that would be, I would need a creative outlet that manifested in the form of makeup. I also do hair, that kind of thing. So that's just, I've just always been really, really interested in makeup, making people look good. So I think it's a confidence thing, do you know what I mean? Not just everyone says, don't rely on makeup, don't rely on makeup. That's all good and well. But when a woman has a good beat and her hair is laid, there's this level of confidence that she has that no one can take away from her. And I love to give the people that, do you know what I mean?
Excellent. I can testify to that. I mean, you fixed me up, my hair is nailed, and you've done my makeup. But thank you. Well, I want to ask you though, being a BK, being a pastor's kid, what was it like growing up? Because from what I know and have been told as well, pastors get passed around, posted to different stations. So did you have to go along with your dad to wherever he went?
Yeah, up until I was, I think, 16 or 17, everywhere my dad got stationed to, we went. Luckily, he was stationed at one church for a very long time. So that's the church that I grew up in. But then he got stationed in Milton Keynes, he got sent to Ireland at one point. Luckily, we didn't go to Ireland, but he was back and forth. Where else did he go? When he was studying as well, he went to loads of different European countries. So that point, we weren't following him around, but at that point, he wasn't at home as much. He was studying in, I think, Norway. He studied in more like some of the Slavic countries. So I think, not that I had an impact on the home, but it just made you, as a little girl, you miss your dad. So it made me miss my dad a lot. Me and him are really close now. I would consider myself a daddy's girl. But I think I forgot the question.
No, that's fine. It's just more, your dad being posted around to different places
I think
and how that impacted on you. Did you have to go along?
It was really frustrating. It was really frustrating because you go somewhere, you settle in, and then the minute you settle in, they're like, okay, now you have to go. And when you're younger, as much as kids can make friends easily, I didn't find it easy to make friends that much. So all my friends now that I have now are friends from a church that I've been in for like the past maybe 10 years. On and off, I've been going to that church. I don't have a lot of friends outside of church or from the different churches that we went to, because as soon as you get settled, you make friends and you get shipped off. And obviously, when you're young, you don't have a phone, social media wasn't there like that to keep in contact, and you use friends. But I think at some point my dad decided that enough is enough. He was the one that was a pastor. We didn't need to follow him around everywhere. We needed to have a home church. So we made sure that we went southeast. Big up southeast, hey. And I love it there. I love it.
Excellent. So I guess what I'm wondering about right now is your makeup work and everything, and being a pastor's kid. Do you get criticised by people?
Yes.
What do they say, and how do you feel about that?
Me personally, I don't care. Talk, I don't care.
Okay.
To be fair, because that's between you and your God. If I choose to wear makeup and I don't think that makeup is wrong, who are you to tell me that makeup was wrong? And half the time, these aunties and uncles will be cussing me, but they'll be calling me in secret. Oh, how did you do your eyebrows? Oh, how did you make your face skinnier? Do you know what I mean? And they'll be asking me these questions, but in front of everybody else, you were saying something about it. So I've even been told that the reason why I'm single is because I wear makeup. So I'm just like, okay, that's good, that's great, that's good for you, lovely. I don't take it on board. I think that you have to. For me, from a young age, because Dad's a pastor, not even just with makeup, I learned to have a thick skin. So you can say whatever you want about me. That's what you think, and I can't go into your mind and chisel out that thought. So I'm not going to kill myself to do it. Do you know what I mean? My parents accept me as I am. My friends and family accept me as I am. So you, the passerby, say what you want to say. That doesn't have an effect on me.
Okay. I guess what intrigues me about you is the fact that your dad is a pastor. You do makeup, but you're also in church. And I've seen lots of other children, especially pastors' kids, PKs who have strayed, and you see them. I guess being an Adventist, one of the things that people notice about us is the fact that we don't wear earrings. But I see some pastors' kids wearing earrings, and they've obviously gone contrary to what I believe they've been taught. What's kept you in the church?
I don't want to criticize other pastors, but what my dad did that I've noticed from other pastors, that's different from other pastors, is he didn't force Christianity on us. He didn't force Adventism on us. He taught us and said, if that's what you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's between you and God. So I didn't feel like I had to do something because my dad was a pastor. I never felt like I had to be well behaved or I had to be a certain type of way because my dad's a pastor. My dad even pushes the opposite. He wants you to have a personality, to have your own thoughts, and we will sit down and we'll debate. Even though he's a pastor, I will be debating him on the Bible, not just the Bible, but life things. And I have that relationship with my dad where I can go to him about anything. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, I don't know if other pastors' kids can. And even sometimes when the pastors are doing well in their home to be teaching their kid, a lot of outside pressure, or unfortunately, when people hear, when other PKs hear things that are being said about them, and that stuff is horrible. When we hear that stuff being said about them, it makes them think, well, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? If I'm in church and you're into my church family, and you're saying this stuff about me because you don't agree with what I'm saying, instead of you to come to me to have a conversation and say, hey, maybe you don't do this or maybe you don't do that, you then take me and gallivanting around the world with my name. That doesn't want me to stay in church. Do you know what I mean? I've had it done to me, and the reason why I'm in church is not because of other people, it's not because of my dad, it's because of my own relationship with God. So that's, let me not lie, it's by God's grace that I'm still in church. Do you know what I mean? It is by God's grace that I'm still in church, because there are other options out there that would have been lovely to take, just to get away from, people chatting your name all the time, Yes,
well, that's good, and I'm happy you're still in the church. I guess my question to you, I know you've covered some of them already, but what are the specific challenges you face as a pastor's kid?
People think that it's okay to come to me and say whatever they want to me and expect me not to react because I'm a pastor's kid. But they forget that my name is Nana, I'm not Pastor Kwarteng Ampofo. So if you say something to me, expect a response. If you do something to me, expect a response, because I'm not my dad. I don't have a theology degree. I don't go to school for any of that. This is me. So if you do something to me, don't say, oh, because you're pastor's kid or whatever, or because you're pastor's kid. I didn't choose to become a pastor. Do you know what I mean? I'm Ghana. So I don't even consider myself a PK because, unfortunately, it has negative connotations to it. But,
That's fine. That's fine. So my question then, as you mentioned before, is people say you're not married because, whatever you do makeup. Do you get enough pressure from people about marriage and even your parents? Tell me about that side. You're 25 now.
I'm 25.
I guess a young person or a woman from Ghanaian background, definitely people will be asking you.
Yeah. I do feel the pressure. And my parents do talk to me. I don't think my parents apply pressure, but they make it known that, would love for you to be married, blah, blah. I think my frustration comes when people tell me I should do this, I should do this, I should do this, but I haven't turned anybody away.
You should be what?
I should be, right now I'm 25, I should be married at least to my first child, or I should be at a certain level, or I should be dating at least. And it's frustrating because I haven't turned anybody away. I haven't told anybody no. So
you just haven't met him.
I just haven't met the right person. And a lot of people from the older Ghanaian generation don't realise that every generation scientifically marries later than the last. Starts their life later than the last. My grandmother married when she was 15. I said to my mum, would you want me to go and get married at 15? Exactly. My mum married, I think, around between 21 and 23. So, not saying I'm going to wait until however long to get married, but I'm also not going to force myself to go and get married just for the sake of it.
Do you pray about
meeting
somebody?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
What do you ask God to give you?
I ask God to give me someone that loves Him more than He loves me. Somebody who is respectful. Somebody who is calm, because I'm a bit crazy. And somebody who is attractive.
Do they have to be a Seventh Adventist?
Okay, my ideal would be, Ghanaian Seventh Adventists, as I'm supposed to say. I think for me it's more important for them to be SDA than for them to be Ghanaian, because the country doesn't matter. It's your fundamental religious beliefs that matter. Do you know what I mean? So you can be Indian SDA, you can be Chinese SDA, not Chinese because you don't be Chinese. Around here,
Go edit that out.
No, I want them to know. I think for me it's more important the SDA. Just because those are where my core beliefs are. There are other things that I'm willing to compromise on, but my beliefs and my Bible-based beliefs I'm not willing to change. So definitely, I don't think that somebody who's not SDA will be for me.
So if you met somebody who isn't SDA right now, but they know that because of you and how you are, how inspiring you are, they want to come to church with you, would you accept them?
I'm against it because I don't want someone to come to church because of me. Because if you come to church because of me, God's really for the work and you can leave church because of me. I don't want God to come to knock at my door to ask me why you chase somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm dating you and you decide, okay, you know what, I want to get to know, I'm going to push you towards somebody who can educate you more on the beliefs. And if you accept it, accept it. But don't, I've seen it happen so many in the church where women have brought men into the church because they don't want to be judged, but they want to marry this person, so the whole person will come, they'll get baptized, they'll get married, and then a year later this person is in the church. I don't want to have that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to have that. Okay.
No, that's fair enough. I just thought to ask you that question. We're ready if you're some who start trees or so. Then I'm dream with sir. Only long. Be how who parents one a good or dreams that you soon in on your family or obey yes. And be to so one and cool year my pass away and the way that is a Missubina in your own family, may any differently.
I think so. The little people said often we see. So we go her when you're like a house and saying, you say, and so that. And I'll just speak a bit of English. So
that's fine.
From a very young age, my parents made it clear, that our voices are important in the house. It's a whole decided to be a family meeting, saying, and voting. make it dramatic. That way your voice is heard and you feel important in the house. And not that decisions are being made on your behalf. Like my dad really got stationed in America, and he said, okay, I've been given this opportunity. It will mean that the whole family has to move. My parents were fine, but unfortunately 3 against 2. We decided that we didn't want to go. And my dad declined. You know, he respected us enough that, you know, my kids don't want us to go into Lingo.
And that's good, because I guess most parents will probably say, oh, me a parent into what I say is final.
Yeah.
So that's a good bit. Beautiful France will have, we didn't say, yeah,
letting people's hurt. This is bad because it's good that they do it, but it frustrates me, so I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well.
When people wrong them, they let it go too easy. When people wrong them, they let it go too easily. There's some people that call my parents line that I want to take the phone from my parents and hang up because why are you talking to this person? Because they've done this, they've done this to you. Not saying to me for again, but unless we have that open dialogue, so why are you saying, I find it difficult to let it go. So the fact that my parents can just let it go, and it seems as though people are walking all over them, but I know that it's not that. I know that they're not letting that happen. But it's frustrating for me to see that this person has been doing all kinds of crazy things to you, and you're just letting it go. How? Like, I don't know.
Why do you think they do that? Do you think it's because of Papa feelings on your soft ones, you know, or so to me let go and I said, naturally that's how they are?
I think that's how they are. I really think that's how they are. And my sister's like that. And my brother's like that. I'm not like that.
I guess it's good to have a difference there. Yeah. No, that's great. What did you told me that your brother doesn't want to become a pastor?
He does not want to become
Why
a pastor. He does. It's different. If you're a pastor and your dad is a pastor, you have the best of both worlds because you have both perspectives. But when you're a pastor and you've never had a parent that's been a pastor, it's different to know what your kids are going through. It's difficult to know what your kids are going through. And my brother has seen the way that people do to my dad, seen all the things that hardships we've been through as a family, and says that I don't want that for himself and for his kids. And me too, I don't want to marry a pastor because I don't want to go through that with my mom. My dad will get this fellowship because I'm rude. I'm just going to be natural. Do you know what I mean? And my mom's not like that. My mom's very good at, she'll keep it like to herself and they'll discuss it later, do a plan of action, but I don't know. My brother doesn't want it and none of us want to be associated with PK past marital stage.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Very nice. Thank you for sharing all that with us. You know, you're a young person, 25, you've done a degree. And not every young person is able to go through university, but I also know that you're not working in criminology now, you're doing makeup. What's the big dream? Why are you hoping to go into criminology?
I think that is my layaway plan. My dream that's like on my heart is to have my own cosmetics line, selling worldwide. That's the goal. And I'm taking the route to become a makeup artist because I love the artistry of it, and it gives you a different perspective of doing, because there's some people that have like a makeup line and they've never done makeup artistry, so they don't know what really works on the skin, or works on different skin tones, what works on black skin, or works on white skin, whatever. Because I'm a makeup artist, I can apply that to my beauty line, which I'm in the middle of creating at the moment. I'm still sourcing products and stuff. So when I get there, that's really the goal.
I guess, thank you. So makeup is good when you do it to brides to be and this like that. Would you consider doing makeup on a dead person?
No.
Have you ever been asked to do makeup?
No.
Okay.
As much as I don't mind dead bodies, I don't want to associate the thing that I really, really love with something that I don't love as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. So if people are getting married and that, you're happy to do their makeup for them. So if somebody wants to look you up, I know you do YouTube stuff. Can you talk us through some of them?
I do YouTube videos. I do like makeup tutorials. To be fair, my YouTube page is on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but we'll be back very soon by God's grace.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm on YouTube as Her Majesty Akua BT. Is it BT? No, without the BT, just Her Majesty Akua. Instagram is Her Majesty Akua BT.
Yeah.
The BT sort of the E on the end, not a Y, because you know we bougie. Yeah.
How about Facebook?
Her Majesty Akua BT as well. I have my personal Facebook page, which is Akua Kwarteng Ampofo, you can find me there as well.
That's the one I'm on.
Yeah,
so.
the Kwarteng Ampofo. I have a personal Instagram page, but I don't really use it like that. So yeah, my makeup page, Her Majesty, Akua Beauty. Feel free to check me out, book me.
Yeah. No, you're very good. Apart from you doing makeup, I remember I've told you before, like the way you are, you calm me down, you do things, and I think that's great attributes. And please continue to do that because you're a good example of a Christian first of all, and a pastor's kid. You know, you're I guess one of the few PKs that I've seen that's in a way kind of normal that I can relate to, and I'm really privileged to know you. So keep it up. Do you have any personal values or values that you want to talk us through briefly?
Treat others how you want to be treated.
Okay.
And I don't think that's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
I want to come up to you step on your foot on purpose anyways, and I want to come up to you and say certain things to you because I'm very aware of people's feelings. So I can walk into a room and someone's feeling bad, I can sense it. So I'm always very, very aware of trying to make people feel good about themselves, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to make up as well. So the same way that I want someone to make me feel good and to make me feel comfortable, I always try to do that with other people. And also mind your business. That is a very big value that I live by. If someone doesn't tell me something, I'm not going to go out of my way to be digging. You know what I mean? Because I have enough on my plate. So if you're out there, digging people's business, mind your business.
Do you have any man on the cards?
No. Unfortunately, not yet, but we'll see what God will do.
If somebody is watching and they're like, what do they have to be like in order to get you to consider them?
Confident but calm.
Ghanaian.
No, I think Ghanaians can be confident, but there are other nationalities that are more confident. Confident but calm, respectful, able to have a laugh.
Does size matter to you?
I don't know.
You don't know. What does it mean? Does it mean you're a virgin?
Yeah.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah.
My goodness. Would you know what to do when you get something?
I don't know.
Are you going to pray to God to help you know what to do?
I'm going to have to because clearly, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you the very best. Does it then matter quickly? Would you want a virgin or not?
Probably not, because we can't both not know what we're doing. What's the point? So, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I wouldn't be, out there either. Yeah.
So would you consider then, I guess, how would you educate yourself to make sure you're good enough for your...
I think I've got very open dialogue with my mum and other people around me. I'm not a prude when it comes to talking about sex and that kind of thing. So I'm educated on that kind of thing. I've just not done it. Never put it in practice. I know in theory, I'm a pro.
Yeah, I see.
But I've just never practiced, so we'll see.
I look forward to that day when I can put my hat on and go see you and then I'll check in with your husband to see how things go. But thank you very, very much once again for your time. What are the key takeaways you want people to have from this conversation? I know you said mind your own business and treat others the way you want to be treated. Is there anything else?
Have your own identity. Because even being a PK is child aside, we have, I'm Ghanaian, right? And a lot of times, people want to know who your parents are, what they do. They'll judge you by what your parents have done. It's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate anyways, but I would encourage people to have your own identity, regardless of who your parents are, what they do, have your own identity and be strong in your identity.
Excellent, thank you, that's good enough. And before I let you go, I just want us to do this game that I do with everyone, okay? So brace yourself, and just go with the first thing that comes to your head, okay? Do you prefer walking or running?
Walking.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
I hate running.
Mommy or daddy?
Mommy.
Ghanaian jollof rice or Nigerian jollof
Ghanaian
rice?
jollof rice. I've tried both. Ghanaian jollof rice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Skirt or trousers?
Oh. Skirts or trousers. Dresses. No, skirts.
No friends or toxic friends?
No friends.
Like or respect?
Respect.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Cats or witches.
Okay.
Yes.
And lastly, do you prefer to have a brother or sister if you had a choice?
Oh no, you can't ask me
I
that!
want to ask you that.
No. It's different, it's not the same. I've got a different relationship with my brother than I do with my sister. And my siblings and I are pretty tight. So I can't ask the question, unfortunately.
Mommy or daddy?
Mommy, because I tell mommy more. But I banter with daddy more.
see.
Yeah.
Excellent. On that note, Nana Akua Kwarteng Ampofo, thank you very much for coming on the show to share your story. This is then. So if you've enjoyed watching Nana and listening to her story, please continue to watch some more. But if you feel inspired to want to share your story, then please do get in touch. We'd be happy to work with you to get your story out. As you can see, she's still 25, she's young, so she's got her future ahead of her. And so do check her out on Instagram and Facebook, and we look forward to catching up with you again on the next show. Please do remember to like, subscribe to our channel, and also remember to share. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.